What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
Now please welcome to the ice for their pregame warm-up, presented by Scott Credit Union. Your
No. Fan report. Aloha and mahalo. Welcome everybody. I am Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, along with my co-host Justin Eagle Eye Scott. We are here because we've got a couple announcements, and we wanted to show you our new, well, possibly our new intro. It's not that we're not dead set on it. We just want to make sure we don't get a copyright hit, because and that's it. But I think that might be our new intro. And I want to give this is all on Justin. 99% of Justin went and did this on his own. So I'm going to give Justin a moment here to talk about the intro. Shoot, Eagle Eye.
So I wanted to do something. So I'm going to pull this up, but I wanted to pay tribute to what Guy has done here to the show and the intro that he has set forth. So that's why we still have the undertone and the tone of the beginning with the slower music, but we implemented, instead of jumps, we implemented some small gameplay for the St. Louis Blues. Obviously, that's the part that me and Guy are kind of, iffy on, because we don't want to get copyright striked. That would be bad, right, Guy?
Yeah. You get 3, your channel shut down.
Yeah, so I mean, we're testing it out. It's not to say that it's gonna work, and it's not to say that it will be the main intro. But I like the intro. I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts. Obviously, there's a few pictures in there of the cake that we did for Roland, on I believe it was the Elks Lodge show,
Yes, that
right?
was the Upload show.
So the Elks Lodge show, I wanted to pay tribute to Roland in the intro because although the last season was dedicated to Roland, I want
Mhm.
every season so forth to be dedicated to Roland, and I think that it's a good way to pay homage to Roland, for what he has meant to the show and for Guy himself. So
Oh yeah,
I
I mean, Roland was here at the beginning. Roland was here at the beginning, and he immediately took. He was an important person to me, very
yeah,
important in ways that many of you will never know or understand. Roland was extremely important to me. I don't want to get too much into it, but it's kind of, there's just no way for me to say it without I just there's no way me to say it. There's just none.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wanted to hit that emotion for the people that's been here since the beginning, people who know Roland. I want people to feel the emotion in that intro for him and feel that it's for him. And then we have obviously the traditional kids coming in. We have a couple shots of myself and Guy. Uh, hopefully, we're gonna try to tweak it a bit. It's not a full standard final copy yet. Maybe me and Guy can kind of tweak it a little bit. But
Mm.
I thought for what it was, I thought it was great. I love the transition of the short, small, light music to the getting into the Let's Go Blues, gold chant. I loved it. I thought it was well executed. But yeah, I hope you don't mind. I want to shout out who helped me with this.
Absolutely.
And give him a little bit of respect. So his name is Jake Neighbors Productions on TikTok. I'm gonna bring up his TikTok here, and kind of show you what he has helped me make for you guys. So here is Jake Neighbor Productions over on TikTok. He did a fantastic job. Let me pull it up here. There we go. Jake Neighbors Productions over on TikTok. He did a fantastic job helping me out make this intro. And he listened to every suggestion that myself and Guy had to help make it the best that he could, and I couldn't be more thankful to him, despite the many of requests I had to meet him with. I'm like, hey, can you go back and change this? Can you go
Yeah.
back and change this?
Well, I
So
mean, the one thing when it comes to anything like this, so whether it's a written word or it's a video production, the first time is never right. You've got to make adjustments along the way, and I've done that in the past. I know the things I've done. Like, be honest, the one thing right now that I think needs to change, and this is just me talking, is the aspect ratio because it doesn't cover the full screen,
yeah.
right? And that's something that we need it to be able to cover the full screen.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like I said, it's a tweak that we can definitely go back and work on. But I wanted to try to, like I said, encapsulate the show of what you've tried to build. Honor people that have been supporting this show, but also put a little new edge twist on it. Make it more modern to what we're trying to build here.
so
While
Rob Bell here, I'm not sure. It says you ought to use the song "Proud Mary." Well, you can't use somebody else's music, where Tina Turner goes on about Roland. Oh, I mean, I hope you're saying that in jest, my friend, because if you're not, it's kind of disrespectful. And I don't know you. At least I don't think I know you. But at least I hope I don't know you. If this is who I think it is, I'm gonna be really pissed. But
like I
respect,
said,
okay.
I
And I just wanted to make sure because I think you understand how that could be misconstrued, right? Rob, I again, and I don't think I know who you are, Rob. I don't think I've ever met you. Maybe I do know. If I do know who you are, let me know. Right?
Yeah, but like I said, I wanted to pay respects to what Guy wants to build here and keep a little bit uh of the old intro in there and have the aspects in there. Obviously not exactly identical, but the boys, the girls still there. I wanted that for sure there. But I like it. Obviously, there's a few tweaks that we can work out. I'll try to work with Jake
Yeah.
over on TikTok, and
Yeah.
we'll try to finalize a decent intro that we're
Yeah.
both happy about.
I wanted, so for me, and this is something we talked about, I had tried to get Bob to give me a new video of the three boys in their Blues jerseys. So I got all three boys. That was my little concern. Maybe I could sample it, and I get what you're saying, and it's something we'll think about. It is kind of, but I don't think we really talk about Roland in the video. I mean, we're talking about it here, but just for Roland, we have that one picture there. So I don't know if you could it would work. I don't think it's a long enough time frame, but I understand what you're saying and I appreciate it. I wanted to get all three boys, right? Because now you have Chase, who's, I think he's 4 now, 4 or 5. I'm man, that's mind boggling for me that boy is that old. I mean, I remember when he was born. I told Bob's wife that she had to wait and try and hold him in there until December 30th because he's born like December 14th or something like that. No, you gotta hold him. You gotta hold him. So, but those boys are important to me right now. Those boys, our last weekend, Jackson was part of his team was in the regionals for the Little League World Series.
Oh, wow.
Like he's at that age now.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened. I haven't talked to Bob. I haven't seen anything, but, and who knows, maybe when I get to St. Louis, I really do. Cause I didn't get to see Bob the last time I was there. Last 2 times I was there. I think I'm going to figure something out. I mean, he lives a little far out. He lives out in Farmington. So, but I think I'm going to figure something out about going down and seeing him. Maybe there's a lake down there I can justify going down one day. On top of that, I am coming back home for now, not as long this time. A little bit short, well, close to the same, but I'm not doing my big road trip this time. We have right now one live show, 98% locked. Right? I will tell you the date and where it is. I won't tell you the time yet because that's not what's locked. Right? I'm thinking most people could guess, and I'll let somebody guess where it is. Come on. I know one of our fans out there knows where this is. Without us saying a word, they know where it is. And we'll wait. We'll wait.
So while we're waiting on that, I think we should get into a little bit of a Blues news here.
Okay.
That it wasn't so. The Blues have been very, very silent here recently. It's not a trade, it's not a signing. It's just a number change. And Dalibor Dvorsky is changing his number from 54 to 15.
Yeah, that kind of, I saw that today and it kind of surprised me. Oh, there you go. Kind of surprised me. And I was trying to think who on the Blues is like had 15 before, and I couldn't come up with anybody. You said Fabry had it.
Yeah, Fabry had it
in his second stint with the Blues, I think it was.
So what I'm thinking is, it was so his first ever stint for the Blues, he was 15. Now
Okay.
it says that his second stint he was number 9, but I believe at some point, because I looked it up, it said that he changed. That he was 15, and
Yeah.
that's when I think of 15, that's the number I automatically associate with Robbie Fabry.
Well, I knew someone would get it, and guess who got it?
Yeah. So
yes.
Okay, I talked about this in a video. It was a small video. It's nothing crazy. And a number change to me is just that. It's just a number change. Like, I'm not going to be heartbroken over this. It's not something that's going to make me not sleep at night. But when you think of players and you think of numbers in the National Hockey League or just any sport in general, when I say guy, number 87 in hockey, who do you think of?
Crosby.
Crosby.
No. Is that Crosby? Yeah, he's 87.
Crosby.
Yeah.
When I say the number 8, who do you think of?
Ovechkin.
Ovechkin. When I say 99, who do you think of?
Gretzky.
Gretzky. So the reason I point that out is because these guys build careers and they set a legendary career for themselves attached with a number. So when you think of guys like that, the number is still a part of the player. Yes, it's just a number, but it makes it synonymous with, said player. So I'm kind of surprised. It's kind of a little bit of a shock to me that we're getting a number change at this point. I kind of thought 54 was kind of unique. You don't see 54 very often. And that's just my opinion. But I like the number 15. It's not that I don't like it. I thought 54 was unique.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm looking for. Here we go. I'm looking for something, and I want to double check it just to make sure. For me, I know players change numbers a lot. Like when they move teams or things like that. So I didn't have a huge issue with the change, and I think at 54 he might have been one of. There were only 4 players that wore 54. Right? And nobody wore 54 brings any, so Mike Gulmak wore it in 2006, Thomas Mojoyas in 2007, who I don't remember. Dakota Joshua wore it for a couple of years, and then Dvorsky wore it. So but then you go to 15, and 15's had 29 players have wore 15. I'm going to see who wore 15 that might jump out at me. And there's two names that wore 15 that kind of jump out at me. Right? Lance might remember who these guys were. These were guys earlier, before you started watching hockey. Mm-hmm. You told me you started watching hockey in
early 2000s.
Early 2000s, yeah. So you were born in 2000, right?
I was born in 1999. But
okay, 99. That's right. I couldn't remember. It was 99 or 2000. So you probably start watching hockey around 2005, 6 years old. Maybe that's where your memory kind of starts kicking in, right? So you wouldn't. The guys that wore it when you kicked in. Funny, Gumak wore it also. Gumak wore 15. I said that he wore 54 in 2008. Then I guess I don't know, he either switched to 15 or switched to 54. You got Fabry, right? We talked about that. Varna wore it, but Varna was nothing. Then you go, the only 2 names that I look at and I go, okay, that was a name that wore it, were Paul McLean, 90-91, and Craig Janney, 92-95, before the infamous Sleepgate. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, now that makes sense. Matt Lowe just summed it up. He said that's his international number. I knew he had to have some connection to it.
Yeah.
Right? I knew it. I remember when I brought this up, I said to you, he's got to have some connection to it.
Yeah, I like you said, there usually is there's usually a reason why these players change their numbers. And like I said, I don't hate it. It's not a bad number. I think it fits well. I think it looks good with Dvorsky.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that. I like when you see a lot of unique numbers. And for me, I feel bad for the player, for the Dvorsky stands who have already went out and bought a jersey with 54 on it. So I mean, it is
one of them things they're still going to wear it. I still wear my Tarasenko 91. It's not a big deal.
Well, but that's a little different. Tarasenko's been 91 his whole career. So that's a little different. You're going from a different number to a completely different number. What is it? Tarasenko, even when he left St. Louis, I don't think he ever changed his number. I think he was always 91.
No, he was not 91 somewhere.
It might have been New York.
No, I think in Florida he wasn't 91.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so Florida, he wasn't 91, but still, as a Blue, he was 91 all the way.
Yeah.
He's never changed his number.
So he was 91 with us. He was 91 with the Rangers. He was 91 with the Senators. He was, come on. He was 10 with the Panthers and 11 with the Red Wings.
Okay. Well, you get my point. He was always 91 here. But I get what you're saying. They're still going to sport it. It's about the name on the back, but
Yeah.
like I said, I don't have a problem with this news. Like I said, I'm going to sleep just like I will always sleep tonight,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose sleep, but I thought it was interesting. I thought it was random just coming out of the Blues news per se. What happened to me here?
He said Matlow says Devo wore 51 with Sudbury, but was always 15 in the World Juniors and before. Okay, that makes sense. Right? Craig Janney did wear, we talked about that. Janney wore 15. I know people who bought Sam Bitten jerseys when he was 34 at Springfield, and they still wear it now that he's 43 with Hershey. Yeah, I mean, it's the number changes aren't a big deal, more or less. They happen. For one reason or another. I mean, one of the biggest reasons a guy will give up his number is another guy pays him a shit ton of money for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that happens. Guys have gotten Rolex watches. I remember someone, and I don't remember the name. They went to another team and paid the guy $100,000 to give up the number. Right?
That's crazy.
Because once you have the number, it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's somebody can't come in a team and say, hey, I've worn that number. You have to give it to me. It doesn't work that way. So, I mean, there are times where stuff like that happens. And it goes, right? Did we hear we aren't going to have no, they haven't come out with that yet. And I can see them waiting a little bit for that. I actually see them waiting closer to the season. If I remember right, when Steen got the C, they waited. Or not Steen.
Shin? Shin?
Yeah, when Shin got the C, they waited a bit before they gave it to him. Like, they gave it to him right before. No, I'm wrong. That's maybe something else I was thinking. But I know they waited a bit before they announced him as the captain. Right? It might have been like mid to late September, mid-September before they announced it, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, what is it? So captains, we've talked about who we think is going to be the captain of this team. I don't think the Blues need to rush in anything. I think that they need to, I think they need to make the captain who earns it. I think that's the way they need to play this here. Now, me and you both have our idea of who we think's going to be the captain. And the reason I have my thought process on who I think is going to be the captain is because of all the responses you've heard this offseason and some of the game stuff that has happened last year. Robert Thomas being he didn't say anything to the guys. He had Robert Thomas rally the boys, and then they came back and won that game. We all remember that. Montgomery, or not Montgomery. Well, yeah, Montgomery and Armstrong more specifically has talked about how they don't want to waste Robert Thomas's best prime years, just banking on maybes. They want to try to compete. So that's why I've always loved all these people saying that, oh, well, the Blues aren't going to be competitive. The Blues aren't going to be competitive for 1 or 2 more years. Well, I hate to break it to you.
I disagree with that.
Well, hang on. I do too. I disagree because if you have listened to Armstrong and his pressers, he said he doesn't want to waste Thomas's best years. Thomas has been interviewed talking about how he loves that the Blues are trying to be competitive and trying to actually make his best years
Yeah.
and have the Blues compete. So for anybody who has this mindset that the Blues are trying to not compete these next couple years, you're delusional because that is what the Blues are trying to do. They wouldn't go out and say this in pressers if they weren't trying to compete.
No, I absolutely agree with that. Like wholeheartedly agree with that. That they are going out to compete, 100% compete. Um,
I mean, but could you
I
believe
mean,
that though? Could you believe
yeah,
that though, guy?
yeah. It's you know, there is an issue with Blues fandom right now, and I'm going to get myself in a lot of trouble here saying this, and I know it.
No,
I
man.
know I'm going
Say
to
it.
get myself in trouble saying it.
Let's hear it.
There
I want to hear it.
there are two different types of fans in our fan base, right?
Yep.
Fan number one is Guy Bensing, and I think Justin Scott. Fans that have been here for a very, very, very long time, who have suffered through very bad seasons, who have suffered through some horrific playoff losses, who have dealt with coaching changes and coaching regimes and player coach conflicts and player conflicts, that have seen that throughout their fandomhood and are able to see things and step back a moment. Then there are 2019 Stanley Cup fans who think that that is it. What I saw in 2019 is absolutely how it has to be. And I'm sorry, you're fucking wrong. And I don't cuss a lot. Well, I do when you don't see me, but on the show I don't.
Yeah.
And
So
that is the fan that you're talking about that doesn't get it and never will.
So you bring up a great point, and I want to say, and I'm not saying like I'm not trying to. Me and Guy are not trying to call out anybody's fandom. Yes, we all bleed blue. We all understand. I am vocal about the St. Louis Blues and what I may like and what I may not like. Me and Guy have had many back and forths on this show. We've learned to kind of listen to each other and understand perspectives. But I am someone that has experienced, like I said, experienced bad Blues moments. But you know how good it felt, and I'm sure how good it felt for Guy when the Blues won the Stanley Cup in 2019? I
I
mean,
have it filmed live.
mhm, yeah. I mean, it's something that will be ingrained in our hearts and our memories forever, and for every Blues fan that suffered through it. Because the fact of the matter is you look at it from a couple years ago, right? When the Blues played San Jose in 2016, when they lost in the conference final, and then a couple more years later, they made the playoffs. Didn't make the conference final. 17. Was it no, the next year they didn't make the playoffs, right? So they didn't make the playoffs the next year after they lost to San Jose. And then they make it to that historic run in 2019. And a lot of people say that it was lucky. For me, I still don't I'm not going to say it was lucky. It's hard to win the Stanley Cup. It's one of the hardest trophies to win, and the Blues had a system in place and they stuck to that system and they played really really well. Yes, Bennington did a lot of heavy lifting there, but that team was still very, very well constructed, and they played, like it.
Well, the problem is, and a lot of people, you go back, right, and you look at you go back and you look at I'm trying to find something here. You go back and look at that, how that came out, and so many people put everything on Berube. Berube, Berube, Berube. Berube, 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 Berube. I'm sorry. And you know what? He made the best thing that Berube did The best thing that Berube did during the playoffs was the hand pass.
Yep.
By telling the guys in the locker room, it's over, we're not going to talk about it, and then going out and doing exactly that during the
presser
the
afterwards.
presser, that locked that team in. And believe, and we talked about this. I know we talked about this a little bit not too long ago. Game 6 or game 4, that was a close game. That was a 1-0 game. That game still could have gone either way, right? Yeah. So there's still. But I can't find this damn video. That's pissing me off.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I kid you not, guy. I still get into conversations and back and forth with people on Twitter that constantly call Kyrou cancer, constantly call him, pardon my French, a little bitch, and it's just unbelievable. And then I had a back and forth. I don't even remember who it was. This was the same guy doing this, like calling Kyrou names and saying he's this, saying he's that, saying he's weak, and saying, "Oh, well, he got coaches fired." And I'm just like, dude, I mean, seriously, I mean, you talk about not knowing how to read a room. I mean, really.
If you think it was Kyrou that got the coach fired, then you did not pay attention to what happened that season. Mm-hmm. Right? It was not Kyrou that got that coach fired. Right? There was something else that happened that season, and that is what happened. Well, actually, the season before that got him fired.
Pavel Buchnevich played a big part in why Berube was like. But I think Berube was just he lost the room.
Pavel Buchnevich was why Bannister got fired.
Bannister. That's what I meant. No. What for me? Look, for me, Berube lost the room. It happens. Coaches lose the room, and I just felt he lost the room. That's just how I felt.
The 2023-24 season, I think I got that right. Yeah, I think it was the 23-24 season, because I was home for this. And at the beginning of that season, Lance might remember this. Armstrong came out and said, "Hey guys, the coach isn't going anywhere. You figure it out." And basically told this was right after he signs Berube to the 3-year extension. And the guys were having issues with Berube right at the beginning of the preseason. The issues were coming up. Shit, I'm like blanking out here. Those issues were coming up, and Berube had, from that point until he got fired, to change things. And he did not. They stayed bad. We missed the playoffs. We go into the next season, and it's just as bad. And finally, it gets to a point where Armstrong's had enough, and he releases them and brings Bannister in. Bannister comes in, and they go on that run, which now, because they've done it twice, oh my God, the Blues can make a run now. Late season run, because they've done it 3 times out of the last 7 years, 2 times out of the last 7 years. Apparently that's the narrative now. And that's the thing. When everybody last season, and if you notice, Justin, I kept my mouth really quiet about this, about the Blues making a run late. Mm-hmm. I didn't talk about that at all, did I?
No.
Because that narrative that this is what the Blues do, that was a false narrative. And I know I'm probably pissing a lot of Blues fans off right now. And if that's the case, that's fine, because it's my opinion. It's Guy Bensing's opinion, and he's entitled to it. Just like you're entitled to your opinion that pisses me off. Yay. And we all get along, hopefully.
Yeah, I like I said, I just think me and Guy try to not come at fans. Like, I try my best not to come at fans, but I for me, I don't like hypocrisy. I don't like people who are hypocrites. And I feel when you have fans that go out and don't criticize anything, I I feel it gets misplaced. I've talked about this a lot, Guy. Just because me or you or me especially criticize a move that the St. Louis Blues make doesn't mean I hate the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
It doesn't. If you love something, I love I love professional wrestling. Professional wrestling right now is in the absolute dumper because of uh TKO making it a corporate ad. They want to line their pockets, greedy company right now. I can say that. I love it. I still love professional wrestling. I love the art of it. I love all the men and women who do it. I respect the hell out of them for it. But that doesn't mean that I don't love it because I criticize it. That's the thing. I feel when the Blues went through all the hard times, you know how gratifying it is when you see something happen. Guy, you're a Cardinals fan, right?
Yeah. Pretty
So
much.
I mean, the Cardinals have, they have one of the best, MLB, histories, I feel, in the league possibly. So they have won championships, but the hard times, you see the hard times going on in St. Louis right now. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
The Cardinals are kind of the Cardinals are kind of surprising everybody with how, in it that they actually are, because we expected them all to be bad. But the Cardinals have went through some rough years here the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
When the Cardinals are good again and the Cardinals are competitors again, how are you gonna feel that you had to sit through the hard part to get to the good parts?
It makes the good part better,
Exactly.
right?
And
For for,
it makes it good. Yeah.
for Blues fans, I mean true Blues fans, people that had been fans, and I'll go back. You don't have to been a fan from all the way back in the 70s, when the team came in, but if you were a fan through the 80s, through the Brett Hull years,
Mhm.
right? If you were a fan through all of that and you suffered through game 7, double overtime, Yzerman taking a shot from the blue line because our goalie's not in his spot, right? If you've been through, I forget who it was, throwing the puck in the net, the 99 season, the
If you've been
President's Cup,
yeah,
President's Trophy, and losing in 7 games in the first round to the Sharks.
to
There,
Vancouver, I believe it was.
there's a lot. Jason Nichols, you're being a jackass today, buddy.
Like,
And the only reason I'm saying that is because I really love you. Right? I really love you, bud, and you know that, but you're being a jackass.
okay, so like you said, first of all, like might I add to you, when we won the President's Trophy, we lost to Vancouver. Not
Oh, it was Vancouver? Thought it was the
yeah.
Sharks. Okay.
No, it was Vancouver because it was the BS COVID shit.
Yeah.
And might I add, I got to
Well, hold on. COVID was way after that, like 20 years after that.
you're sorry. I didn't hear the year that you said. I think you said did you say
In 99,
Okay.
I
then
thought
yeah.
we lost to the Sharks.
Okay, yeah, well, that might have been I thought my bad, I misheard the year, I thought you were talking about the when we
2020?
won when we won the
Yeah.
President's Trophy the year after,
Oh,
we
well, I'll
lost
tell
to
you what.
Vancouver.
If you want to know why I have so much hate on Berube, it's that playoff series right there. It's that playoff series right there because I know something. And I'm not going to say what I know, and I've kept my mouth shut for a very long time, and I will. I've told like 10 people what I know, right? And everything that I base off happened after that makes sense.
Mhm.
If you look at that playoff against Vancouver where the Blues, first of all, the Blues were one of the 3 teams or 4 teams that voted against going to the playoffs. They did not want to hold the playoffs. They wanted to wait. Okay? They were one of the teams that wanted to wait. So right then and there, the team, you have a team that's going on under protest. That hurts you one. And at that point, it's the coach's job to bring that team back. And I know he didn't. And then you say, okay, let's say Guy's right. Let's say for a second, let's believe Guy that something happened in the locker room. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, now look at what happened afterwards. Look at the deal with Tarasenko getting in front of Berube with the Thomas. Look at the Tarasenko trade. Look at Petrangelo. Look at Schwartz.
Yeah, Schwartz.
Look at Perron. Some of those things start to make sense. Right? Some of those things start to make sense. And he didn't get handed a winner because the Blues were not a winner. They were technically, I hate the narrative, but they were technically in last place. They were last place in points, but they were not in last place. Yeah. Right? But technically, and they came back. But what everyone forgets, and this is what saved the Blues that season, is, and I brought this up with Chris Kerber on my show. So this is, I can talk about this because it's out there in video land, right? Mm-hmm. Chris Kerber was on and he go, oh, well, they were in last place. And I said, I corrected him and I said, oh, well, that's not what they, and I said, but Chris, if they would have held at that point on January 3rd, if they would have held a COVID style playoffs, the Blues would have made the playoffs being last in points. Mm-hmm. By points percentage, they would have been 12th in the Western Conference and made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So so how can you be the last place team and jump 3 teams? Right? So, or 4 teams, you go from 16th to 12th. So they had, that was what everyone, they had so many games in hand. And they had those games in hand all the way up to that 10-game, 11-game win streak. When those games in hand came into play, that's when they were winning. They were winning the games in hand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like I said, I think, I got to give props to Vancouver anyways in that series because Vancouver, for some reason, when Vancouver somehow makes the playoffs, they just seem to never lose in the first round. They're pretty good when it comes to the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, to go into that, I just think that a lot of fans don't step back and look at things at a logical perspective. Like I saw, okay, so I just had a conversation. All right. So I saw a mock trade. Now, I don't think this is going to happen by any means. I don't think any history this is going to happen. But it was a mock trade where the Blues would get Connor Hellebuck. So Connor Hellebuck would come to St. Louis. Now, first of all, I don't think that he would ever come here. I don't think that's going to ever happen. But then I had some fan tell me, I had actually multiple fans tell me, but one in particular told me, no, the Blues don't need him. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, although I understand that, and the Blues, probably don't need a guy like that, but are you really in a logical position to tell me that you would not take a Vezina-winning goalie if you had the opportunity to take one?
I need to see the mock trade to see what's there. My problem is, I think you have to sell the farm to get him, and I'm not willing to sell the farm.
Yeah, I mean, this trade was way too outlandish. Like, this trade was not going to work. But I'm not talking just on a trade. This wasn't like, oh, about the trade. This was about, no, he's 33 years old. We don't need him. Now, although I understand his age, he wouldn't be a starter here. First of all, the way I think about something like that is,
that right there tells you he's not coming here.
Well, I know, and that's why I've prefaced this off by saying he's not going to come here. I know that's not going to happen. But I'm talking to the people that sit there and say, no, I don't want him. He's a Vezina winning goalie. What? How many times has he won the Vezina? Multiple times in his career.
Twice, I think.
Okay, well, multiple times in his career. He is one of the best goalies in the league. If he was to come to St. Louis and you had a tandem of a Hofer and a Connor Hellebuck as your backup, because he is getting older, yes, the Blues know how to play their goalies. The Blues know how to not tax their goalies. He would thrive somewhere like St. Louis because of the fact that we use goalies so well.
I understand, and we can get into this a little bit, but before we do, we've got people watching us that haven't just come on. So for the viewers that are just coming on, I'm going to play. It's a 2 minutes long, but stand by and listen to it. I'm going to play our new opening, and I want to hear what you think, especially if Jason Nichols is still here. Jason Harness, my buddy. But I'm going to play our new thing, and then we'll talk about what I want to talk about. So. Is that good to go, Just?
Yeah, it's a rough draft, folks. So just keep an open mind, and we'll get right into it.
What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
No sound for you, yeah, if you're talking.
Aces. I do. And then Shaggy was here. I heard him say hello, guy. And Matlow said, I don't care how many Vesnas he's got, talking about
Hellebuck.
Oh, am I muted?
No,
muted.
no,
I don't think I am.
No, you're good. I can hear you now.
Shaggy said Rangers are down 1-0 already.
Yeah, no, like I said, I understand. Like I said, Hellebuck's not coming here. I know that. That's why I preface this conversation by saying he's not coming here. But I'm saying for any person who said that you don't want a Vezina winning goalie, I think you're delusional.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, hold on. Shaggy, congratulations, man. You need to keep your pants zipped. He said he just had my third boy. Well, congratulations, my friend. We're real happy for you. I love you, Shags. Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. I got to get up to New York during one of my trips. That's got to be something I got to get up there and see. I've never been to New York, so I got to get up there and see what trouble I can get into. So what I wanted to get back, let's get into the Bennington stuff. We got a little bit of time. Damn, you and me say, oh, let's do a quick show. 50 minutes later, we're still talking Blues hockey. We can go on and on, right? Let's get into Bennington. I
wanted to say, is it okay just before we get into it? Is it okay that I shout this the thing that I've been telling you about?
Go.
Okay.
Go. Sorry.
I just wanted to shout out. So I still do the BlueNote Fan Report, obviously, but I have been doing a lot for the Hockey World Order, and they asked me to do a blues-centric podcast over there, and I just wanted to show you guys and, show you if you have not seen it or tuned in yet. We have 2 episodes out right now, but it is called Icing the Blues Podcast, so, I wanna bring it up here on screen just so you all can see. Uh, and there it is, Icing the Blues podcast. I am the host alongside Ben, uh, friend of the show. So I just wanted to shout that out real quick. I appreciate Guy letting me shout that out and showing me some love for that podcast. It's blues centric. We talked about 2 good topics, I believe, or not 2 total, but 2 good shows I thought for the Icing the Blues podcast.
Hold on. Let's see. I missed something here. Well, Shaggy said, if you come to New York, we have to. Shaggy, that would be the only reason I was coming to New York. And memes, I don't know who you're talking about. The guy is good, but there's some up and I think he's talking about
Talking about Hellebuck.
Okay,
Yeah.
So let's get back to what I wanted to get into, and that is the Bennington issue, right? I know how everybody thinks. This is Bennington's last year of a contract, and because it's his last year of a contract, actually he was talking about Bennington. Okay. He wasn't talking about Holloway, he was talking about Bennington. Okay. And everyone is like, we got to trade him, get value. I think they're missing something with that. And while I understand that, and I do, sometimes you got to step back and understand the situation. How many playoff games has Hofer played in?
Did he? He didn't. I don't think he got. Did he get in? Oh yeah, I think he got 1 start right against Winnipeg.
No, I don't. Well, maybe he did.
I don't know if he got. I don't know.
I don't think he did. I don't think he got any starts.
He might not have. So I don't think
I don't, because we didn't get blown out in any of those games. So I don't think he played a minute of those games.
Yeah. So he hasn't played a playoff series, I don't think.
Exactly. Hofer has 0 playoff experience. So for every one of you guys who sits there and goes, Hofer did so great, he's your number 1, he's got to be it. Dudes, you need to step back. You need to step back and ask yourself something. When do players make their name? Make their name in the playoffs. Plain and simple. And Bennington in the playoffs, for the most part, has been stellar. Bennington was the reason they were going to beat Winnipeg. He was absolutely the reason they were going to beat Winnipeg in that first round. It was Bennington who stood his ground and gave up 1 and 2 goals when they were scoring 4 and 5. It was Bennington doing that. The only game that they won, he gave up 4 goals, I think it was, maybe 5. And that was game 5.
Yeah,
but other than that, they absolutely won every other game. Right? They were in every other game, or they outplayed Winnipeg in every other game.
Besides, I mean, like I said, Bennington was a huge part of that. He's been a huge part of why the Blues have succeeded a lot of the times in the playoffs. Obviously, it's not a lengthy thing. They've missed the playoffs these last couple of years. So,
okay, hold on. Now, this is a good point. Someone makes a good point. I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump over you. Rob says Benner didn't have any experience prior to 2019. That is true. And he also tied the record for most losses. Everyone goes, he set the record for most wins by a rookie. He also, he was going to set one of 2 records. He was going to have the most losses by a rookie, or was going to have the most wins by a rookie. But he had tied both the records. So while I understand that, looking at Hofer now and looking at Bennington then, is Hofer better than what Bennington was, and can Hofer do it in the playoffs? And right now, I don't trust Hofer to do it in the playoffs. There are things that Hofer does that scare the living crap out of me consistently, and it's like he's not getting the message.
There's
Go ahead. You can go.
There's now, although that is a valid point, you don't know what you have if you don't let him do it. So yeah, people can be afraid of what he may do in the playoffs, how he will perform, but you don't know what he can do if you don't give him the opportunity to do so. Now, Hofer is a guy that is your future. I don't care what anyone says,
I'll agree with that.
Whether you, Joe Smo, Billy Bob down the street want to admit it or not, Bennington is not going to be a St. Louis Blue after this year.
I agree with that.
So you need to plan for the future. Now, I talked about this with Ben. This is actually a prelude of the episode that we did, episode 2 that just released. He was telling me that we should replace Bennington with someone in our farm system. And I said, absolutely not, because nobody in our farm system is ready for that role that Bennington has. Bennington's going to start with the St. Louis Blues. And mind you, he threw out a name to me, and I just snarled because I thought it was just not a good pick. He told me that the Blues should go out and sign, what is his name? Former Edmonton Oilers goalie. What's his name? I
can't spit it out either.
Yeah, former Edmonton Oilers goalie, and I just thought to myself, no, absolutely not. The Blues have one of the better tandems in the whole league. I am not downgrading to get rid of Bennington. That would, if I'm first of all, hold on. If I'm moving Bennington, I'm getting something valuable for him. I'm not getting a crappy backup. I'm not.
Markstrom, not Markstrom. No.
No, it's not Markstrom. It's, what is his name? It's a goalie that really is
Skinner.
No, it's was it Skinner? No, I don't know. I can't remember what.
Skinner's the one that they had and traded to Pittsburgh. I think.
but it's not him. It's another one of them. I can't remember his name right now, but it's a former Edmonton Oilers goalie. And put it this way, it's not a good option. It's not a serviceable option because although and Ben, he was bringing up, oh, well, his stats are this, his stats are that. And I'm like, yes, this is the worst Bennington performance that we've had in the St. Louis Blues uniform, but he's still a valuable big-time goalie that you don't just give up and replace him with Billy Bob down the street. That's just not what you do.
Well, here's what I was trying to get at, and I haven't been able to get there. The thought process that you got to trade Benny to get something for him is a flawed. Cambry is who he's saying. Chris said Cambry or Campbell.
Campbell. I can look it up while you kind of go on your point. You can.
Okay. So this is what I think the Blues should do, and you keep them both, no matter what, unless you get a really, really solid offer on Bennington in December, you keep them all the way through to February. And then you go in February and see where you're at. If you are in the top 3 of your division, you're solidly in a playoff spot, you keep him. You keep him. He goes nowhere. If you're on the edge, within 4 points, with a game in hand, you keep him. I know you weren't thinking Tristan Jarry, were you?
No, it is Connor Ingram.
Connor Ingram, okay.
Connor Ingram. And no, he is not Jordan Bennington, and he is not a serviceable option. I do not want to see the St. Louis Blues do that. But Guy is right. Like I said, I think...
Let me finish. I'm not done. I wasn't done. If you're anywhere else, then you trade him. But you have to get a goalie in return. You have to get a veteran backup. You need a veteran backup. I'm sorry. You have a guy right now that has absolute understanding of playoff experience, and you have a guy that has none. If you get rid of the guy that has that experience and don't bring somebody else in, you are setting yourself up for absolute failure. You're absolutely setting yourself up for failure because goalies think differently. Goalies train differently. Goalies are in the locker room differently. Goalies do everything differently. There is nothing those players in that locker room could say to the goalie to change his thought process after a bad game. Another goalie who's been there before can. And that is what you need. And if you don't have that, you are shooting yourself in the foot. Keeping Binnington for that experience is what you're getting in return for keeping him. That is what everybody misses. That is what everybody absolutely freaking misses, is that having that understanding of knowledge is what you're keeping, not what you're giving away, and you're giving it away if you trade him and losing that. So by keeping him, it's not, oh, we're getting nothing for him. No, what you're getting is his knowledge, his experience, and his ability to say the right thing at the right time when it needs to be said. And I know I'm probably an absolute fucking idiot for what I just said, but I'm sure hardly anybody agrees with me. But that's how I feel.
That's, like I said, that's fine. Everybody understands that type of logic. But again, I've told you already that I'm not an insider. I'm not anything like that. I can tell you with certainty, and you agreed with me, Binnington is not a St. Louis Blues after this year. Now,
yeah, I don't think he is either.
Now, look, if the St. Louis Blues pop off and they're really good and they're top 3 in the Central Division and the culture's really coming together, maybe that sways Binnington's mind and he says, oh, hey, maybe I can be a backup for this team and maybe I can just be a centerpiece of what this team is trying to build just in a backup role. Maybe he has that mindset and maybe you can sign him for a reasonable contract at a backup price. Maybe that could happen. But the fact of the matter is no one in our system for the St. Louis Blues is ready.
Nope.
So
the guy that was supposed to be ready didn't get offered a contract.
So in saying that, the Blues do not have a goalie ready on hand. So letting him walk, if the Blues are bad and you just keep Binnington and you let him walk for nothing, you're stupid because you don't have a backup in place to replace him with Benny. You don't have a backup. So you don't have a guy that can come in and play that type of crucial role in your minor league system. So you have to get something for Binnington if this Blues team is bad. If the Blues are good, then trade him or then keep him. If the Blues are good, keep him.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. If you got to wait till February, though. You got to get to February and see where you're at in February, right? Get to the All-Star break. Where are you at the All-Star break? Yeah. Right? If you're within 4 points with a game in hand, I would be okay keeping him. If you're more than that, if you're 6 points or more or 4 points or more with no games in hand, or the other team has games in hand, then it's time to think about letting him go. Right? Let's see here. Meme says, I'm waiting for the time the Blues click again. Where's that hockey we all know they have in them? We see glimpses every year, but it's always after the break. Ah! Ah! You know why I just did that, right?
No, I don't. I really don't.
What did he just say? He just said something I talked about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, they always seem to turn it on after the break.
That's a false narrative. It's not true. They did it twice in the last 10 years. Period.
Yeah. I think the Blues are a team that, yes, have done that, in the 2 times in the last 10 years. They're a team that's exciting down the stretch here. They've made it pretty memorable to watch, down the stretch here the last couple seasons. Mm-hmm. But this team is capable of a better start, and I think we're going to see a better start. At least I hope we're going to see a better start. The Blues have a barn burner to start the year off. They're playing the Avs and then Dallas. They play both teams back to back not a physical back-to-back, but back-to-back against each other. And those are two of the toughest tests because those are two of the big dogs in the Central. So you're
Yeah.
going to know immediately who this Blues team is coming out of the gate.
Your first 3 games are divisional games.
Yeah.
And you've got to come out. I think you need 4 points out of those 3 games. I think you need 4 points minimum.
You need to at least go 2-1 or 2-0-1. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the year, 2-0-1 or 2-1. That's
You
what
need
you
4,
need.
5, or 6 points, plain and simple. You open with Dallas, then you play the Avs. I think their second game of the season, maybe their third, and then you play do the home opener with the Blackhawks, and then you come and do our home opener
Against San Jose.
against the Sharks, right?
Yeah. So realistically, you have 4 games right there, and 3 of the 4 are very hard games. Chicago is kind of meh. What Chicago team we're going to get without Bedard, especially because Bedard's not going to be there. So you have at least one winnable extremely winnable game there and against Chicago.
One out of 3. The thing is I see that as a trap game, what I call a trap game, right? And some people listen, no, it's not a neutral zone trap. It's a game. A trap game is one that you go in thinking we should win this one. We don't have to. We're going to win this one, and they're not that good. That's a trap because your mind gets. You don't play your game and you lose. That's a trap game. I see the Chicago game as a trap game, right? The game that I think they have the best chance at winning is the Shark game, except it's a home opener, and they've shit the bed the last 2 home openers.
Yeah, I really hope that they get a good start in this home opener and really have a good home opener. And even going back a couple years, they've had 2 bad home openers recently, but then the year before that, they played Seattle. And that game, I went to that game as well because I've tried to go to every home opener, and they beat Seattle in a shootout. But even that game wasn't overly thrilling from a home opener standpoint. I mean, granted, it's the Seattle Kraken, so God, they're boring as washing paint dry. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but still, they struggled in that game too. To get that win. But we'll see. I think the Blues will have a better start.
That was an away game. I thought that Utah was an away game.
No, not Utah. Seattle.
Seattle. I thought that Seattle was an away game.
No, remember we played Dallas in Dallas, and then we played Seattle.
I'd have to go look too. I'm thinking opposite,
but I mean, like you said, I hope they have a better start. But this is a team that needs a better start. Now, if the Blues come out and somehow miraculously go 4-0 in the first 4 games, bet your ass the Blues are going to be a dangerous team this year. If they somehow manage to do that, I think even if they go 3-0 in the first 3 games, you're looking at a different type of team heading forward.
I'll agree there. Love Snuggie. He says, I'll be at the Sharks game. Can't wait for that. Hopingly the 2 of us will be there.
Yeah.
We're going to try. Can't make promises, but we're going to try. Hey, you get a chance to see the Blue Note Fan Report live. Our preseason special is going to be on September 27th, Sunday, September 27th, September 27th at Vitaly's Hideaway. Mark the date. Don't have a solid time yet. I think in early afternoon, but mark the time. Hopefully we'll have some hosts besides me and Justin. Get some other people. Maybe they'll come online and we'll break the divisions down and tell you what we think. So stand by for that. We had it. I've done it the last 2 years. I want to do it a third year, and the tallies might have some news before then. I don't want to announce it until I know it's in the books. But once I know that, I will let you know because it will change some things. Bedard is a 2 and done. Shine bright like a diamond till realizing these are big boys. He will be back. Well, I mean, Jason, sometimes, Bud, you just spout the. I don't think you're right on this one. Bedard's only going to miss like 3 weeks of the season, if that.
Bedard is, but Bedard isn't going to be projected for the game against the Blues. He is expected back in November. So that's past when the Blues. So obviously people will come back early, but first of all, this is his second shoulder injury. So
Actually, I think it's the same shoulder, so it may have been like a Tarasenko issue where the shoulder got repaired but didn't get repaired correctly.
yeah, this is not a easy injury to just come back from. It's going to take time. Athletes are a different kind of breed when it comes to working, rehabbing and stuff like that and getting back. So I expect him to try to do his best to try to get back, but that's the last thing the Chicago Blackhawks need. I think their rebuild has gone to absolute, they're not doing it right. If you want to look at a team that's doing the rebuild right, you look at the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah.
So this is a team that can't afford Connor Bedard to come back early and risk another injury to that shoulder because he could be done. His career could be shot in the dark, with another injury.
It is possible. I will agree with that. Byron Davenport, Teresa Singer, Mom, Sister JJ, John Jeffries, Chris, Shakamundo, Shakali, Shakalisha, Shaki, Ray Dominguez, and Brian Buckholz. Thank you so much for putting some thumbs, some likes, some love in the air tonight. Can you feel the love tonight? Na, 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 na. Whatever. Justin's frozen. Justin's frozen. Let it go. Let it go. Oh man, I'm lost. Bernard's injured his shoulder watching. Oh my goodness, AC Generator, you're killing me. You're killing me. Talk about rebuilds. What happened to Anaheim? Had it together, went on a run, lost a tough team, but then proceeded to throw it all away. I think that there's some internal issues that Anaheim has to deal with. I'm not putting anything on. I've seen that earlier. I'm not putting anything on the first 5 games with a 4-game preseason. I can kind of understand that, Chris. I can kind of understand that. Well, here's the thing. I used to always say it's the first 8 games. Now you can look at it, might be the first 9 games and how many points you get out of those 9 games because there's 84 games in the season. Well, I mean, actually, you could still do the 8, 8.2, I think it is, or 8.2.5, something. Yeah, 8.2.5, 8.25, right? 8 and a quarter games and look at it that way. So did I get that right? No, I got that wrong. That's 10%. Believe it, 8. Yeah, that's right at 10%. So you get right into that 40. It used to be 41 games. Now it's 42 games. Right? 42 games is the halfway mark. Right? 82, 84. Yeah. 42 games is the halfway mark. Hopefully Justin popped back in here. I don't know if maybe his laptop ran out of power or something. He'll plug it back in. We'll see. If not, I'm probably going to end the show here. I'll give him another minute or two. But I understand that, right? That's not true, Jason. Jason, that is not true. And it's not about knowing who's good before. It's knowing how well they play with each other. That's what you don't know. You don't know how well a new guy coming in will play with X or B or C. You don't know if B is sleeping with C's wife and that's causing issues. Right? You just don't know. So that's what happens in the preseason. You kind of figure that out. I disagree, Jason. I disagree. Right? And it's warm up, man. You got to have a warm up. If you went out and started the season without a preseason, with no preseason, look at college football. They make a preseason. All the big teams go pay some scrub team to come in and play them so they get a tune-up for the good teams. Otherwise, they would all play good teams all the way through. You need the preseason, bud. You absolutely need the preseason. I disagree with that, Jason. Well, is this Jason or one of his kids hijacked his phone? I think this is one of Jason's kids or somebody Jason knows has hijacked his phone. Uh-oh. I guess the internet went out. Jason, yes and no. You don't know what chemistry's there. You know what? And I got a way to prove it. Go watch Miracle. Go watch Miracle. AC generator. Go watch Miracle. The cone headline. They didn't know that existed. They didn't know what they had. And it came together through all of those preseason games and warm-ups and tune-ups they did prior to the Olympics. Have you got a chance to watch any of the other players we got from the draft? Any of them you like more than the others? This will be the last thing I say because Justin's internet went out and I don't want to do a show too much without him right now. I mean, yeah, I can. It's not a big deal, but Max Gisdene, who we got at 16, I think is a huge diamond in the rough. Right? I think he's in my fantasy league. Now I'm in a keeper fantasy league, so we draft from the current draft. And I got him at 32. I got rid of my first round pick next season to move into the first round this season. And then I got another second round pick to jump up to move in because my pick next year is higher, will probably be higher. And well, it's going to be higher. So I took him at the 32nd spot. Also a lot of drama around that pick, but that was all my fault. So it happens. You know what? With that, I'm going to say aloha and mahalo. I love you guys. Since I don't have Justin here to end the show, I'm just going to ask for the girls to help me.
What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo. And I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
And the number one question everybody wants answered is who's late for dinner?
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, for my stellar co-host, Justin Eagle Eye Scott, saying aloha mahalo. Thank you for watching the BlueNote Fan Report, and you gotta know that I am bleeding blue with you. And as Eagle Eye always says, like always, let's go Blues. Aloha.